Woo! We're live, baby. Welcome in. Welcome in to Creator CTO. I am your Creator CTO, JL Garofalo. I've been struggling with getting content out on this channel at a high frequency as I kind of build up some momentum. So I'm trying to lower that barrier, lower that bar a little bit, so that I can start to build some of this momentum. And so in doing that, I'm going to start to do daily or maybe every other day live streams, showing you what I'm working on stuff together, helping you with your stuff if you got it, helping you with questions if you got it. It's a new channel, so I understand there's not that many people out there yet, but yeah, as they start to file in, we'll start to answer some more questions. But in the meantime, we're gonna be building. We're gonna be building products with AI. We're gonna be building everything with AI. We're gonna make AI do all the work. We're just gonna chill and talk about it and ask the AI to tell us about it. And today we are working on, let's see, the landing page for the job board, which I started on a previous live stream on this channel. It was maybe 3 weeks ago. I started working on this job board. I started talking to Claude to build the job board, which is the first product bet that I'm building on this channel. Remember, this channel is built to help creators, help people build an audience or build products for their audience. If you're a creator, you're building an audience, a business around that audience, then you need products to sell to that audience. And software just recently has never been cheaper or easier to create. So AI is the unlock. It's the unlock to software products for creators, and more creators are going to have to figure out how to utilize this stuff. So the point of me talking through all this is that on this channel, we're going to be building products live. I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to try things out. We're going to see what works, what doesn't work. I'm not a genius expert, knows all the answers to everything type of person. Oh no, I'm getting a little lag. Okay, we'll slow down. Slow down. We're good. We're still here. Not too lag, just a little lag, but we're good. So I'm not going to pretend like I have all the answers for you, but I can certainly promise you that we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. So without further ado, the point of this live stream today is to make my job board not suck. And that's our one job. It's our one task. We got a job board. Make myself like a little bigger. Whoa, I'm huge. No, not that big. Just a little bigger. No, I can't. All right, I'll just be this small. It's fine. All right, so here's the job board, the FYF job board. Let me make this a little bigger for y'all. And what this is a job board product, job board software that's specifically for the fantasy football, sports betting, and sports niche. There's a whole mess of people out there who love sports and they dream of working in sports, or they do work in sports and it is their dream and they are loving it. But finding jobs in this space can be tough. They're kind of scattered about. They're not always easy to see what comes in when. There's not really a centralized source. And so I'm trying to do my part here in helping those people find these options more easily. 1 second here. All right, we're back. I realize that maybe the source of the lag there was a camera setting. We'll see. So the point of this product is connect job seekers in this industry, like this specific niche industry, connect the job seekers to the job opportunities as seamlessly as possible, as easily, as quickly, whatever you want to use. We are trying to connect the job seeker to the person who has the job opportunity. And the reason I started with this product is because I had a pretty good hunch that people were going to want it. And that was based off of an experiment I had done last year when I built a Notion page, a Notion database with all the job boards from the industry. It took like an hour on a Saturday. And I was just sharing it around with friends and my audience on my Twitter account, which had been built around people in this industry. Because I'm a content creator in the fantasy football world, it's built around people who work and operate in this industry. And so every time I would post about it, it would get some decent traction, which is good sign for you, whether you're creating products, or content. It's the same principles apply here. If you can put it in front of people and then see how they react to it, it'll give you information on whether you should continue doing it or not, whether they would be interested in acting on that and buying it and whatever it is. So that was the thought process. I built it live here on a live stream on this channel. And then I launched it to my audience, and it got pretty good reception. The initial tweet that I had posted got like 450 some likes, close to there, like 78,000 impressions. And just out of like 2 or 3 posts, I got about 450 plus signups. And so now I'm doubling down on the marketing strategy here, trying to figure out different ways to remind people it exists, that there are new opportunities every day, and then also building out the product and making it worth coming to. The initial product was a pretty decent job board, but in order to be able to keep people coming back to here, especially with a product like a job board where people aren't searching for jobs all the time. It's like certain times in your life are you kind of in this mode where you're looking for jobs. So when we're designing the product, building the product, making decisions about the product, we're thinking about all those different things in there. Okay, this is for this type of person. They're looking for a job. They're trying to figure something out. And we're trying to make the product memorable to them, trying to make it so useful, not like any other job board experience that they've been to, where they're just gonna be like, okay, this was another job board I went to, but instead being like, whoa, that was helpful. That was super helpful to me. And that little piece builds trust, and that is the key to our entire strategy here. Entire strategy behind making products that people actually want. It's very much an emotional thing. You have to design it to their emotions, and know, or at least anticipate how they're going to feel about certain things that you're doing. So anyway, the purpose of this live stream is we're going to try to figure out how to make this job board not suck. Right now, it is not bad. Added some nice features that you don't normally see on a job board. Like, for instance, if it's sucking right now. Oh no, it's sucking live. Why aren't you going? Here we go. So for instance, some nice to haves is, this AI generated blurb, or this quick description, TLDR for the job description. One thing when I was thinking about, when you're looking for a job, why does it suck so bad? One of the main things that came to mind was like, well, you got to read through all these dumb descriptions over and over and over again. And you got to parse out the little pieces, the only like tiny little crumbs in here that you actually care about. It's like maybe 8% of the entire description is information that you are looking for. So like you could just see this, me scrolling down this page is very blob. It's nothing crazy. We'll do more. Like one idea I had is have AI generate highlights around the keyword, like this key parts of this description that are worth looking at, so that we can reduce the time that it takes for a job seeker to get the key info and get out or go further. Like, basically reduce that time to that decision. And so the TLDR, you have that feature, being able to save it to a list. Another feature added on top of the normal job board features. Share apply is totally normal, nothing crazy there. What else? Oh, the viewed one. So after you've looked at a job, it'll get marked as viewed, and then it'll show you a slightly muted version of that job card to reduce the amount of time that you're scrolling, and when you're quickly trying to figure out which opportunities are new, you want to key in on the new exciting ones as quickly as possible. That is how we keep the user from getting so bored while they're sitting here going through these different jobs. So added a grid view to make it you could digest more jobs at a time. I think we could do even more there. There's a lot we could do here. This is your standard job board filter, website filter stuff. but there's a lot we can do to improve this. This is sort of what the user basically expects by default. Some new tags here to also indicate which jobs are the newer ones, or ones that have come in. If somebody's checking this, every day, we don't want them coming back and wasting time, right? When you don't have a job, or when you're looking for a job, wasting time feels terrible. It feels so much worse. You can waste time while you have a job. It does not feel bad. It feels fine. But when you're not doing it on your own time. But when you're doing it on your own dime, it sucks. You start feeling guilty. There's a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of things that go into that. And so, yeah, I think there's a lot we could do there. I also got some feedback around this job board that I want to address in this live stream, or that I want to address with the AI, with Claude, to fix during this live stream. And we'll go through it and see what we can do. One of those pieces of feedback I got was from a friend of mine in the industry. And first thing he said to me was, oh, hitting this communication filter here, this is a paywall thing. So if you're signed out, then hitting this communication thing here hits you to the login, which sucks, which makes sense. I know a lot of people want all this stuff, want to be able to access all this stuff, and create an account is friction. You're immediately introducing friction into the flow. And so some portion of the people who hit that page are not going to end up actually completing the create an account flow and, whatever. Log in. You've been there. We've all been there. And so initially I made these job cards publicly available. You can click on here. You don't have to be signed in, and you can get in there if it works. I don't know why it is acting so slow today. That's something we got to fix. What's going on, fella? Maybe we broke something. No, see, then it goes. I must have broke something. This is why we do it live. Okay, well, that time it worked. Weird. We'll dig into that, but what was I saying before that? Yeah, so this goes, you don't have to be signed in. You can go to this page, you can see it, which is by design. What my friend was complaining about was that, when he went to this landing page, the first thing he did was click the communication thing, and that took you to a paywall thing. And that got me thinking, that's really solid feedback. Why are these even here? Like, what is the point of this? I added these here initially with the bot because I wanted it to be simple. I wanted this teaser job on this landing page stuff, like the teaser job concept here. But the filters themselves, I guess, really just are telling the user, like, oh, you can filter by these things. Like here's a bunch of the different dimensions on which you'll be able to search by. And initially, I don't think they were clickable. I made them clickable before I launched them. Now that they're clickable, those are paywalled. And the reason they're paywalled is because we want to capture the value. We don't want the entire site to be publicly available because there's an exchange, right? We're putting together this info. We're putting together the site. We're figuring out how to get all this info, and we're hosting it on our money for the benefit of the user, of the person coming here to use this tool. And oftentimes you got to give an exchange, right? And that exchange is going to be money, or it's going to be data, or it's going to be something. And if it's free, then they're getting something else, right? It's just at the top of the flywheel, and they're going to sell you something else. But for this product, we want to capture email. That's the main value. We'll be able to reconnect with other people in the industry, with users of the tool, be able to re-engage them via newsletter, via anything, via email, if they'll let us. And so that got me thinking, okay, if we want to make this job board less suck, we should probably figure out, maybe take out these filters. Really what I wanted this to feel like is less like a job board, less like Indeed, and more like ProductHunt. If you've ever been to ProductHunt. ProductHunt is Product Hunt here. Product Hunt is a tool, as a product that was created by this guy, Ryan Hoover, I think his name is. And it's every day there's, a list of new products that have launched. And there's a community of people that go find the product and then they like elevate it for being hunted or whatever to show up on this top board. And every day you can come in here and there's a new set of products to go through, to look at, see what people are making. It's a really interesting concept for a product. It's really clever to build this type of product around that type of community, and really that's kind of what I want to go for with the job board. It's like, I want it to feel less like you're going to Indeed.com or browse it on LinkedIn, and more like you're going to Product Hunt and seeing like, oh shoot, no way the NFL is hiring. Oh, damn it. No NFL jobs. Dang it. Here, sign me in. Sign me in quick. Don't show them my passwords. Come on, NFL. What do you got for me, baby? Nothing. Dang it. Okay, that's one we get fixed. No, that's not either. If I want to be a senior software engineer at the NBA, I could do it. That's what I want. I want it to feel like exciting. Like, oh, here's an opportunity. You get to be this. You get to have this. I remember when I first got into this industry, the fantasy football industry, and I was talking to a mentor of mine in the space, and he's like, "Why don't you just go be Jay-Z's fantasy football consultant?" And I was like, "Is that a job that's available? Are you offering me that job? Because I'll take it. I'll stop all this entrepreneur stuff. I'll just focus on being Jay-Z's fantasy guy." But I just didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know it was an option for me. So, that's kind of what I'm trying to capture with this board, is like Jay-Z's fantasy consigliere could be on this board. You don't know. And a lot of this stuff is boring, like FanDuel hiring, whatever. That one's pretty normal. I saw one that was like business controls by FanDuel. I'm like, what the heck does that even mean? Director CRM, what does that even mean? So, all right, we can get out of this. Summarizing it, what we're doing here is we're going to try to improve this job board just a little bit here. And we're going to start with the landing page. Okay, yeah, start with the landing page. All right, I'm going to talk to Claude. Show you guys how I do this. It's really easy. It's much easier than you think. Okay. Act as an expert product designer. All right, we're going to put Claude into a role, give him the designer role. Consult with the UX product. What's the name of that thing? I think that's it. It's the name of a sub-agent I have in here that's just focused on UX, to redesign the landing page for the job board. Okay. So what do we want it to redesign? I like the current concept, but the search and filter inputs towards the top of the page lead to paywalled pages. I'll take rid of that last part. Filter inputs towards the top of the page distract from the more enticing teaser jobs list. So basically what I'm saying to it here is like, when somebody lands on the landing page, all of the conversion, all the design and thought process is about how to get them from this page to the next step that you want them to get to as easily as possible. Because you're not going to really get another chance. People will land on the page and they're out of here in like a second. So what I'm saying to it is, I want you to redesign this landing page. I like the current setup. I should tell it, go ahead and leave the hero copy alone. Don't leave the hero copy alone. We don't want it to modify this text here because we want that hero text up there, and there's not really much to change there. So what we really care about is this section here, the search, the stats here, and the filters. Now, one benefit of having the filters is that, like I mentioned earlier, people can see the types of options that they will be able to filter on, which could be valuable. If someone's coming in here and they're looking for something like remote roles specifically, they'll have that. They're coming to this page and they're thinking, okay, does this have remote? And the way they're going to answer that is by scrolling down this page and probably looking at these jobs to see if any of them are remote. The first one is remote, so that's a good indicator. And maybe as I build out the teaser jobs portion of the code, that maybe we add something in where it's like always has some blend of different types so that it communicates that to the visitor. And the same thing with these little tags here. But the problem is that these are all they're all buttons, which can be interpreted as a call to action as the user, right? You're telling, it's a little confusing if you land on this page, what exactly you should do next. You're given an option, like an array of options here. You can search for jobs, which I don't think this search works super well. We can see. Let's go for software engineer. Nope, doesn't work. Got to fix that. Okay, cool. That's an easy one, which maybe we should. Actually, we'll see how this goes. And then, so you can search. You could also filter. That's two options by one of these types of things. Or you can view all jobs. It's three types of things. Or you can view one of these jobs. And if you want to count browsing or picking one of these as two things, you could. It's like four and a half different options to choose from. This is all fine. And then there's also feedback. Give feedback, which we probably want to hide the feedback thing on the landing page because why would they have feedback yet? That's 5 options. That's too many. That's too many to give to the user. In design, we want to follow rule of threes most of the time. 5 is not 3. So I think one main benefit is we could potentially find a way to remove these options while still communicating that value add. We definitely want to leave the stats. The stats are huge. They give a specific number that are tied to the actual resource, the value you're going to get beyond the landing page, which is really nice to a user to get that sort of like transparency from the landing page. See that it's a dynamic product that we're working with. Yeah. So let's start with that. Leave the hero copy alone. We'll leave that in the end here. More enticing teaser lists job. I like that the filters communicate to the visitor that they will be able to filter the jobs by these different dimensions, but they're not the right call to action. On top of that, the search input on the landing page doesn't actually work. It results in a 500 error. After you've considered all this feedback, I want you to come up with a plan to address these changes and present them to me before implementing them. All right, let's see what that comes up with. So we're breaking up the steps that we're having the AI work with here. We're going to first ask it to assess the problem. look for the, like, think about what it's doing, put the steps together. What's the issue that we're trying to solve here? Uh, Come up with why it's like that, and then a plan to address that why, and then we'll decide and we'll see if it's right. This is a way that you can kind of give yourself a little bit of like, okay, wait, let me just wait to make sure that it's come up with the right solution. But it's pretty smart, so you might be surprised. Mr. Cloud is cooking. Man, I gotta fix that loading issue. That's next. Cook. Okay, the core problem, Cloud says, is the page is structured as a search engine when it should be something else, not a search engine. Here we go. Page is structured as a search engine. Whoops. Get rid of this, make the font a little bigger. Okay. All right, fourth time's the charm. The core problem, the page is structured as a search engine when it should be a storefront window. That's pretty good. Yeah, the search form, filter pills, and skill badges consume 400 pixels of vertical space between the hero and the first job card, pushing the actual content below the fold. And worse, the search form and every filter pill link to jobs requires authentication. So they're all dead end for the unauthenticated user, which is the primary audience here, who we're trying to convert. If somebody's already a user, they've already realized the value of the product, and they've already created an account, and hopefully are coming back. They're returning to get some more value from the product. So our landing page needs to be designed for the new people, because without that, you're not going to get the returning people. You got to have the first part to have the second part. So Claude is right. Proposed page flow is the hero headline plus the subline, untouched as requested. Thank you, Claude. Stats, open positions, brands hiring, like that. Want to keep those numbers in there. Primary call to action, browse all blank jobs and jobs, which will replace that search bar. And then the latest jobs header and the view all link, which will move up basically the same. If we have this, let me show you this. Here, latest job. So this moves up, it's saying, and then first 6 jobs, job cards are visible without scrolling on most viewpoints. And then let's see, mid-list call to action card. I don't know that we need another mid-list call to action card. And then remaining 6 jobs continue to teaser list. And then browse by section, relocated. Oh, okay, I like that. Explore by category, low emphasis below jobs. So essentially, I like that. So instead of entirely removing the filters and just having the jobs, it's just going to move it down so that if people don't pick up, if they still have that question in their mind by the time that they're at the bottom of the list, hey, does this have remote? Does this have part-time contract stuff, full-time? Then we'll answer that question below it. So I like that. I don't think we need this mid-list call to action. I'm going to tell it that's too much. It's only 12 jobs. It's just like they get it. What gets removed is a search form, the popular skill badges, and a bunch of padding. That's fine. What gets preserved, the hero copy. And all right, so let me talk to Claude. Job requires authentication. This means browse all button and browse by pills will redirect to sign in. This redesign makes this feel intentional. Okay. I like this plan, except I don't think we need the mid-list call to action. It seems excessive. The user gets the idea, and we can just present them with the list of teaser jobs with the call to action at the top and the bottom. Otherwise, I like the plan, and we're good to go with implementation. Claude's going to cook on this. Okay, we're back, baby. 1 minute and 45 seconds is all it took for Claude to do that work. And now we get to see if Claude is a phony or not. The reveal. Let's see. I didn't even restart the server, so maybe I need to do that. What? Bro. Oh, I'm in production. I'm such a dummy. I'm in production. I'm in production like a dummy. Okay, all right. So this is what we're working with now. It was the same before. Don't even worry about that. It looked exactly the same. So now start your sports career, browse all 60, sign up for free, explore by category. I like the layout, but I don't love the way this looks right now. Let's see if I can show you side by side. All right, so this is side by side. Browse all 60 jobs is huge, and I don't like that orange there. It's just like so distracting to the eye. Browse all 16 jobs. I feel like if anything, we should make that match the green there. I don't love I mean, this has the green tags here, but I don't love that use of the green tag. This also doesn't have a logo, so it's a little bit tougher to see. But it feels like it made it. Is it just the font is big here? I don't know like what percent that's at. Okay. I don't love this little weird, like it just like drops it down here. I feel like that could be made a lot better. And then this call to action, I think could also be better. So let's go ahead and give this feedback to Claude. I'd like you to make the following modifications to the landing page now. Change the color of the top call to action that says browse all jobs. From orange to something else, maybe the FYF green. The orange is very distracting in the center of the page when you load it up. The job cards seem less tight than they were in the previous design. I'm not sure if you changed any of the styling rules around the contents of the job card, but it doesn't look as good. I think that I'll say that. There's a lot of improvement to be made to the job card itself. We could show the blurb more prominently and change the way the tags are rendered to make it look really cool. I don't know. Make it look really, make it communicate the right information to the viewer that's most likely to get them to click into the card. The explore by category feels like it's shoehorned into that container below the teaser job list. The concept is good, but we could make it look more prominent and less like filters. The call to action looks out of place at the bottom and unprofessional in its simplicity. All right, let's give it that. Let's see what it does. Let her rip. So another thing that we could do is if there's a specific thing that we want to, like we want it to look a certain way, and we have examples to give it, that works really well. So something I might do is go to like Tailwind UI, which is just like a UI kit for different sites that has different like commonly used components. And so for ours, it could be, what will we use here? And these little blocks could work. Oh, you can't even see that. Finally, Claude has finished his work. Slow motherfucker. Took forever, bro. Okay, let's see what he did. I like the green. I don't like that. I do like that though. So what we can do is take a picture, screenshot of this, be like, clean this up, bro. All right, so now we gave it the image, say, look at the provided image. Notice how the widths are inconsistent and the edges of the bottom call to action are cut off. Also notice how the categories are arranged within their container. These all look unprofessional. Design these as if you're a professional designer. Clown. Don't take 10 freaking minutes this time. Bro, maybe you need to think with a little lower effort. Oh, you cooked that time. Quick with it. So that is a technique that helps a lot. Just giving it the screenshot, especially if it's something that's design or front end focused that you're trying to communicate. Okay, let's see. That was a little better. It's not perfect, but it's definitely a little better. It's like a mobile. Okay, that'll do for now. One last thing is make the call to action button less bright. That green is way too bright. All right, well, it'll change that. Go. Didn't do it. I was still going. Well, while it finishes that up, we'll wrap this up. This is so we made some improvements to the landing page. Hopefully, reduce the friction here. The right way to do this would be measure the difference, so we can make these changes and then see if that leads to any changes. This site, it doesn't have enough people to really get much insight from the analytics yet, but once I start marketing it, getting the marketing plan in place and getting more people in here regularly, it'll be easier to then those analytics will start mattering. But for now, we can stick with this. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. Even though I know you didn't, you fool. All right. Thanks for tuning in to Creator CTO. I'll be back again tomorrow. Hopefully less laggy than this. Bye-bye.